Okay, step one.
Step
Yay!
one.
Grab a D1, grab a percentile dice. That's two 10-sided dice or one 10-sided die rolled twice.
Yeah.
You want to
Got
know
'em.
between 1 and 100. You're going to roll this twice to get two different occupations, for one for each of your villagers that you're in charge of.
39.
Okay. So
What's better,
oh,
high or low?
Elf scholar.
it's all alphabetical order. There's no higher.
There's no better.
Dean's going to be lying about his die rolls the whole night.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey.
Man,
Like
and
that.
then,
cheating
never
at
happened before.
D&D is the lowest of the low.
yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So here's the
Although
list.
it was
there's stuff
interesting
down
because
below.
I think it was both for board games and for role playing, where people were talking about, well, how do we make sure that
25.
people are rolling honestly? And somebody replied, you know what? Given all the circumstances around, if somebody needs to like flex a little bit and fudge on the rolls to like give them a little something to keep them going in the pandemic, then shrug emoji.
Yeah. Right.
More power
All right,
to 'em.
thank you. You pulled these up. That's great.
Okay, so what does the ability mean?
Okay, so you're gonna write obviously occupation in the occupation slot. After you roll your abilities, you're gonna have the option to swap two, and one of them will be the ability listed in that ability column. It's
So
an
we
ability
just
that occupation is particularly good at. So right now, just like make a little, maybe a check mark, or no, just note what it is. Just note what it is.
Okay.
Your dudes. But you should write down the gear, but don't worry about all the little tags for the gear. Just write down, club provisions. Don't worry
Okay.
about all the little numerical.
Thus far, I got nothing.
What'd you get? What was your first roll?
Soothsayer.
Nice.
Dean, you're born for it.
Our soothsayer died.
Yeah.
And that's how
Soothsayers
Dean
always
got
have
the
a
job.
Tough go with
That's
it.
right. I have a future paladin. I am a constable.
Nice.
I wish I had a screen about 28 times larger than this. So short sword.
Yeah, I can tell you. Short sword and a set of iron cuffs with key.
That
Well, I'll
makes
say my
perfect sense.
crier actually has a plumed hat, and I don't know if it survives the Zoom, but I actually have one. So
Oh, I love that. Look at that.
Get the
I was gonna say, if we were doing Here I Stand, you could have brought it.
oh my God, that was so good. I still have the Martin Luther insult generator like bookmarked on my phone because that thing is just, it never runs out of fun.
Yeah. So, and when you're, is there a way to, when you're in this view, is there a way to do the thumbs up?
Hand wave.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. So just when you're done, let me know, and we'll move back to the next step.
We're doing 3d6 for each one of the abilities.
Yeah. Has everybody got their occupations?
Yeah.
Hold on, I have to
Yeah,
get
I
my
gotta
second
put my
one.
stuff down.
What
And
do you
sorry
need?
for the ability. Just make a note of what.
Just make a note what it is. Yeah.
What did we play?
Oh,
that
wait, did I skip a step?
night?
Sorry.
Remember that night we played with and we were all villagers and there were flaming skeletons everywhere and they
Yeah.
killed us all.
Yeah, the Cinder
What game
Queen.
was that?
That was
That was-
Dungeon World. Which
That was Dungeon World.
Yeah.
Cinder
Okay.
was the adventure that I wrote for Dungeon World.
Okay. But that's not this.
The same basic system. This is my version of the Dungeon World system. My hack.
Okay.
I'm gonna kickstart sometime in the next year.
Jason,
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you read me the trapper? He's got
Yes.
a knife.
Yes, he's got a knife, and roll 1d4 to see what kind of traps he has.
Okay.
Oh, I get to
Yeah.
roll that stuff.
A
too.
1.
You get 2d4 rat traps.
Oh, I'm the rat catcher.
The rata.
Come on.
Rob Palmer, the rata.
I should give that guy a dog.
If one is an
Right.
elf scholar, that automatically makes my heritage an elf for my one guy.
That's
Roll a
correct. That's
D4.
correct.
I got a 3. So I have fungus berries. 1d4.
I'm not eating your berries.
1d4 rations. How many of them? 3. Okay.
Yeah, so you have 3 rations worth of. You decide whether it's mushrooms or berries or some combo.
Shrooms it is.
All right, so Jason, we're good on this. I made a note of the equipment and the ability, and now just roll the 3d6 for all of the.
Let's see here. Does everybody get their occupations? We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. So record your heritage. So if you didn't get elf or dwarf or halfling, you're human. So write that in the heritage thing. And just note here, you'll see each heritage has a different kind of special move they can do, but you don't have to really remember those. I think do we just have one elf? Is that right? Everybody else?
I also have an elf troubadour.
Nice.
Oh boy.
So the elves have perfect balance and a featherlight step when they move. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, and then you're going to roll 3d6 right down the line for your ability scores from strength all the way through luck. And you're going to type that into the first column of those abilities there.
And Jason, you can see these, right?
I have not checked the...
I mean, if you wanted to.
Rob, I'd like to return for a moment to the scoffing you made when I revealed that I had, in fact, rolled up a bard.
No. It's not a bard. It's an elven troubadour, which is a whole new level. Will you be singing in Elvish?
Yes,
I'm
working on the underlying phonics of the language right now.
Thank you.
The high speech.
I would expect nothing
right.
less.
Yeah, Kevin, when I go into the doc and I click on the image, I see everything that everybody's typing in there. So.
Oh, nice.
I'm horrible with this document. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. It's something.
I may delete other people's characters by accident. Just double clicking, triple clicking. My wisdom, a 12, 11.
Boy, these scores really illustrate the bell curve, especially now that I'm no longer cheating.
Yeah.
As I might have done when I was like 14.
Right. All right. Did one of your friends do that thing where they would roll dice ahead of time?
Oh yeah, over and over and over again. And I couldn't bring myself to actually just flat out make it up, so I would just like roll character after character for like hours.
My soothsayer is looking pretty.
Oh, you've put luck in here. You've hard-coded luck into the rules.
Yes.
Which I really like what you did in the funnel. I think in the funnel is you talk about an optional luck score.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. I made it optional in that. Yep. Dean, 17 luck for your soothsayer, dude.
Yeah.
That's a 5 strength on the rat trap.
Rats are all he can handle.
Nothing more.
His dog is more intelligent.
All right, and we can swap our core ability with one of the other numbers. Is that right?
That's right. So,
only that one.
That's right.
And we probably want that one to be our highest.
Yeah, I mean, depending on,
Yeah, well, if you're good at your job.
Right, exactly.
Because you could be bad at it.
You could be bad at it. So yeah, after you get those scores in, you have the option to swap with your favorite ability for your occupation. And then after that, you can apply a bonus, which I have up on that first page. You can increase 2 different abilities by 1 point each.
2 different abilities by 1 point each.
If you're a human. If you're an elf, you can increase dexterity, intelligence, and or charisma. You have 2 points to spend on those stats. Okay. So humans have 2 points, and they have to split them. They can't put them both into one.
All right, but elf, you can pick 1 and boost it by 2 if it's intelligence, dexterity, or charisma. Okay.
Or you can split. You can boost 2 different stats by 1 each if you want, but you can also boost by 1 by 2, which humans.
So my soothsayer needs charisma, but I like that 17 luck.
Yeah, that'll let you. Maybe your predictions are just lucky.
Yeah, I think I'm going to swap my charisma and my constitution and go for a 15 charisma.
Right. I know this is going to sound very gamey, but where are the splits on the pluses? Like,
they're in the bottom of the character sheet, right in the middle.
Wait. No, Robbie.
Oh, I see them.
Are you talking about where to spend points?
Yeah. So, like, do I want to get it up my 15 up to a 16?
Oh, see,
or
I
do
see.
I want to
Yes.
get my 12 to a 13?
Right. Yeah. So
I think my numbers are all so bad.
So we get to add +1 to 2 different things.
If you're human, yes, you can add 1 to 2 different abilities.
Can we add +2 to one of them?
No, humans
Okay.
have to split.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rob, the key numbers are 13, 6, and 16 and 18. Well, I guess, if you got a negative, you want 9. It'd be 9, 13, 16, and 18 would be what you're trying to bump up to.
Yeah. Need some help there too. So let's see.
All right. Dexterity, intelligence, charisma. Okay.
And then after you get your, you spend your points on your ability scores, you leave the current column blank because your ability scores can actually take damage during the game. But the right-hand column, the modifier column, you just plug in whatever the modifier is on the chart at the bottom of the character sheet.
Okay.
Jason, this is really cool the way this is laid out. It makes it really easy to do.
Good. I'm glad. So what do we got? We got a human fairy pilot, an elf troubadour.
Fairy? Oh, a fair. No.
Fairy
Fairy.
pilot.
Got it.
We got a constable and a trapper,
That trapper.
an elf scholar and a town crier, and a soothsayer and a forager. Dang, those are some solid characters.
Yeah.
That 5
I didn't cheat at all.
The beauty of the funnel is everything becomes kind of interesting, right? It's
Yeah, exactly.
All right, have those ability scores.
Oh, I hate to break it to you, Kevin.
Oh.
Well, maybe Ichabod Stanton might fly, but you have to roll your name too.
Oh, no, that's cool.
yes.
And it's all
I was
just
just thinking I'm wearing a plumed hat and I'm in a cold thing, so I was, but yeah, I'm cool with that. In fact, that's probably better.
we can probably keep the
It was. I will say it was better for the kids I was playing with this week. Like the names that they come up with
right.
are not great fantasy literature names, but you roll them up and then they start using those names, then they're great.
All right.
So 1d4 plus your Constitution modifier.
For your hit points, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
God.
sorry.
So, some
1d4
people gonna die.
Constitution.
All right, hit points.
Yeesh.
All right, Constitution of 0.
Armor 0, I'm assuming. Unless
Yep.
something.
Unless you had a big gear.
I'm gonna die. Boy, this is like being a level 1 magic user all over again.
Well, my awesome soothsayer with the 18 luck and the 16 charisma has 1 hit point.
Yes.
As it should be. Why would a soothsayer have more?
Right, because if he takes one in the ribs, then clearly he didn't see it coming, and
That's right.
survival of the.
Gotta say about the sooth.
I've already dropped the D4 under the desk, so mission accomplished for me tonight.
Classic.
I'm sorry, where did you see roll hit points? Okay.
Yeah.
There's no dividing. Okay. All right, well that's terrible for me.
And you can burn a point of luck to increase your hit point by 1 if you feel like it's worth it.
Oh.
Yep.
Any roll you make in the game, you can always burn a point of luck to increase it by 1.
Oh yeah, that seems worth it.
So when you burn a point, you keep your max score in that column, and then in the current ability column, you write the number, the lower number.
Frankly, I don't think Dean 1 hit point versus 2 hit points is going to make
Yeah.
a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But my
But I mean, it is
18
your
luck
shot.
might.
That's right. That is a very good point. 3 hit points.
Wait, I got hit? Whoa, I am so lucky I didn't get hit.
That's right. Might work out for you. Okay, has everybody got hit points?
4
figured out?
plus the.
Yep.
Yeah, good hit points.
We're good? Okay. So then you want to write the amount of weight you can carry in your capacity box, and that is your strength modifier plus 4.
Your modifier +4?
Yeah. Capital STR, the modifier. Weight is just, it's abstracted. You know that, Bob. I don't need to tell you that.
Nah, we're good.
Like the old Ghostbusters system where you could carry like 4 items no matter what they were.
Actually, Jason, I don't know for my ferryman. I don't think the 10-foot pole had an associated weight.
Oh, really? Oh, then I need to. This is a playtesting thing.
Yeah.
Great. That should be weight 1.
All right.
And I will write that down.
Up the airy mountain and down the rushy glen, we daren't go a hunting for fear of little men.
Nice. What is that?
That's from Robert Ainsley. I think it's The Fairies. It's just a lovely, lovely, lovely little poem.
Good.
Roll twice for each villager. Okay.
Oh, roll traits. D100.
Oh, good Lord. Traits. Lazy. All right. Now we know why you didn't make it out of grad school.
Was this the scholar?
Yes.
Lazy elf scholar.
Always love it when like the troubadour turns out to be gregarious. Like,
70.
Oh yeah.
it's always fun to play against type, but at the same time.
Is 82 helpful or hopeful?
It's hopeful.
Okay.
Stubborn and lazy. The best thing you want in any grad student. 93. What could that be? Oh, God. Pious. That's great.
Mm.
And I spell pious. That's the challenge.
Oh, I screwed up. Okay. I rolled a 73, but I thought it was wasteful, but it's actually forgiving.
That's right.
Nice. I'm a pious liar.
A hypocrite.
Giving.
Yes.
Or the god of lies
39.
is your deity.
I am forgiving and rude, my soothsayer.
The constable is dirty but hopeful.
Well, obviously, you have terrible manners, but I'm willing to forgive them. Right?
And we do the same thing for appearance?
Yeah, appearance, exactly. You roll twice for appearance.
All right.
Ooh, 06. Boastful.
Oh,
Light
each
complexion.
villager gets two of each.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Now, should the gender be noted on the sheet, or is that
Both.
just?
I did like apparent gender. I thought that was a lovely choice in the
Yeah,
rule.
like appearance, I would put gender under appearance because it's part of the, whatever your apparent gender is.
63.
For notable face shape, whatever that is.
You decide what's notable about it.
Triangular. Oh, we lost the
Yeah.
Hey, I need
lost the
to.
appearances.
Oh, did I just, sorry.
Bring it back.
How did that even happen? God, sorry. Just flicking my mouse around.
Straight hair. Well, that's.
Nearsighted with a limp. Oh, man. Nearsighted with a limp and a pious liar. It's your town crier.
Nearsighted and a limp?
Well, that's how he got the limp, actually. Is he fell down.
You don't know he's coming by the sound of his voice. It's by the dragging of that one foot.
Clump drag. Clump drag. Jason, I've decided my guy is really a gullible enthusiastic. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Do you mean, like, when you say you decided, what do you mean?
I mean, just, just looking at his stats and the fact that he's a town crier with, like, terrible wisdom, it seemed to me that he would be very enthusiastic about whatever nonsense he's told to say. Or
Yeah. You get to interpret it however you want. I mean, it's all random stuff, but you get to sort of figure out how that makes a character. How that makes that personality. At the end of a session, you get XP if you acted on at least one of your traits during the session.
Ah, gotcha. So appearance, and then roll a random item next.
Yeah, when everybody's ready to move on.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
No, that's cool. Is everybody good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Almost. And I
Rob, what do you need, Rob?
need to. I'm having such a hard time reading it that I just downloaded your the copy you gave us.
Oh, good.
I'm just gonna roll.
Oh, so you got your own
So
copy.
we don't need to wait for him. Ah!
Here
You
go.
can
Roll
move on
random
with you can move on without me.
percentile dice for a random item.
I have a child's toy.
Oh, we're doing items. All right. Okay. Everybody gets one?
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
91. What's that? Oh, a trophy souvenir. Oh, exciting. And that goes under gear, I would imagine?
Yeah.
If it says child's toy, can I decide what child's toy?
Yep.
Awesome. Done.
Is it like a working gun?
Laser.
No, like a pop gun, like a cork thing. Goes boop. That's it.
There's no guns, but
A pop gun.
A
Oh,
pop what, sir?
Right, the pop.
okay.
I'm pretty sure the pop gun only.
I'm feeling limited in my imagination.
You are the first to generate this novel concept within this fantasy
Well, I
world.
mean, the cup and ball is one step away from the pop gun.
I don't know if you guys saw
just
this.
like it's a worse cup and ball. It just happens that the ball gets stuck in the cup, and so it pops out. It is the
How about
predecessor.
clicker clackers?
Yes.
Two
right.
balls on a string with a
Sure.
ring in the middle.
Yeah.
So I can go
Picture-
click, click, click. And
Picture 12th century France, but you're in the equivalent of medieval France.
oh, okay. Two rocks on a string.
Perfect.
I can also use it as a bolo if I need to.
There you go.
Yeah, see? Thinking.
Which one is that? Is it the Soothsayer? Or the...
Yeah. Click, click, click. I must consult the
Oh, yeah.
the gods. Click, 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 click.
Like your divination device?
Yeah.
Let me toss the bolo.
All right, so we're skipping the pitch.
Yeah, skipping the
so what's the
pitch.
name? What's the naming convention?
You're going to roll a D100. I'm going to tell you a medieval French name. Masculine
All
or feminine?
All right, I'm looking for a feminine, and
Okay.
it's 82.
You are Robinette. That's Robin, E-T-T-E.
Excellent.
Robinette. I want to hear lots of
Female
bad French
fairy
accents.
pilot. Robinette.
Yeah.
All right,
I would-
and
Yeah,
then
no.
I need 32 on a male elf.
That is Gabri, G-A-B-R-Y.
Okay, thank you.
You can elf that up if you want.
Just
Change
take
a
out the
letter.
A and put it in an apostrophe. You're
Yeah,
good.
do something like that.
Instant French.
Kevin, what do you got? D100 for...
D100. All right, rolling. 0, 0. So a 1.
That's 100. Zero,
Actual,
zero, one?
no. I don't. It's it was a 0 in the hundreds, in the tens, and a 1 in the.
Yeah.
So it's 1.
Masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Allard, A-L-A-R-D.
Allard. Can I put 2 L's in there?
Sure.
Allard.
Allard. And next character?
Next character. Survey says that is a 19.
Masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Crespin.
Oh, excellent.
Crespa.
That's bomb.
Rob.
So all right, the constable first. We'll take a feminine name.
Okay. What do you got?
Oh, sorry, I have to roll, don't I?
You
97.
got 97?
Yep.
Ictrude. That's a Y-C-T-R-U-D.
Ictrude.
Ictrude, yeah.
Ictrude. And then for the rat catcher, it's going to be a masculine name. 43.
Houvin, which is Heuvin.
Heuvin.
Yep.
Houvin.
Dean.
Feminine 52.
Genon, Jennon.
Oh, okay. And 49 masculine.
Jaspard, Jaspeart.
That's an exception.
Lucky.
You guys you can adjust these as you know to make them more comfortable if you really don't like any of the names. You're not going to be.
No way we would do that.
I cannot guarantee I will pronounce any French accented thing correctly.
Not many of us will. So we're going to skip over the Forge a Bond part because that would take a lot of time to work out at this point, and I might be cutting it from the rules in the end. We don't need to make our home village together because there already is one that you're going to be playing into. Let's see here. There's our starting gear. Okay. So then I'm going to switch documents.
Oh, you took off the hat.
Oh, well, I figure for the one guy I won't have the hat, and the other guy will have the hat. I don't know. I got a bunch of hats over here, though, so...
what a lovely village. It's filled with rats.
Yeah. So...
Oh, God, that's horrible.
Do you guys all have the ability to write on the map if you need to? I'm trying to remember if I have
The ability to write on the map? You mean through Zoom?
Yeah. Trying to remember.
Do that.
I don't believe so.
Okay. I
No.
could give you permission, but okay. Then I'll be in
I
touch
can
with
send a reaction.
that. Okay. So everybody feel okay with the way their character sheets look? Any questions or holes that need to be filled in?
The only thing is armor is assumed to be 0, right?
Yep.
You have to own some kind of armored piece, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Because they just absorb damage if world.
Correct.
Okay. So I have.
Well, that's going to be great for my
fairy
soothsayer.
pilot. She's a fairy pilot with a pot of lard. And
A pot of lard.
Yeah. 10-foot pole and a pot of lard, and then Gabrielle de la Forêt, the elf troubadour.
I feel like while Alyssa,
nice.
while Alyssa is sitting there, she should be playing one of these two characters.
Oh, she should
Only
be.
fair.
Do you want to be Robinette the?
I don't know. You sold the lard pretty hard.
Yeah, she would. It's got to be the lard.
That was a nice touch.
Um,
Should I go get him? I do want to see how it looks.
okay, so we are just about ready to go. Is everybody going to take a little break to get a drink and?
Yes,
That
I
was
finished
cold?
my scotch. I
Okay.
need another.
Okay, get another sketch. Let's take like a 3-minute break and then-
Perfect.
Ian
I'm actually
will
gonna put my
end
sheet-
up napping.
Breathe.
This is a cute little village, though.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, it's adorable.
So, Bob Swonder, I have fallen down the dungeon world. I don't know.
Dean's walking off into the bear. That was fabulous.
The trap. But of course, I can't land in one place. So now I'm reading Blades in the Dark. Do you own Blades in the Dark?
I do. I was one of the original backers. And so, Rob, the one thing I'll say is, so Blades in the Dark, but also have you looked at Band of Blades?
Yes. So Band of Blades is actually the one I'm like, oh, that sounds more like me.
Yeah.
I think. And do you own that one as well?
I literally, this past week, I think, I ordered 2 things. I ordered Band of Blades and I ordered 1,000-Year Vampire.
This 1,000-Year Vampire.
1,000-Year Vampire is a solo RPG that leads you through the process of building out the journal of a vampire who has lived for a millennia. So it is, and it's an artifact unto itself. Actually, I'd be fascinated to see if Jason has encountered it. But it is this sort of beautiful document in that it's sort of mixed media, and not. I think it pretends to be mixed media, but it has different paper types, different fonts, and because it's supposed to be this thing that's gone
Well,
through
keep in mind-
history. And this vampire has always carried this little book with them. And it's about, I think, in part, the nature of memory. So you can only have, because you've lived 1,000 years, there are certain memories that you carry with you And even things that can be very important at the time can fade away and become sort of apocryphal or misremembered over time.
Oh, what a mess.
And so your build, like this thing exists already?
Well, the rules for it exist.
About how to build it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Have you seen Thousand Year Vampire?
No.
I was just telling Rob, it's this fascinating. You see, I love it, and actually, Dean would probably enjoy it as well because it is. So imagine the book itself. It pretends to be. You call it mixed media. So it's as if it's this old journal that has all these other pages stuck into it, different fonts, different pictures from different eras that have been inserted, and it's a solo RPG experience where you are building out the story or the journal of a vampire who has lived for a millennia.
Oh, wow.
In the course of living for a millennia, you've had these experiences that sort of that made you into a vampire, and the rise and fall, all the sort of adversaries you've gone up against. But the problem is you can only have so many memories that you accurately carry with you. And so there are things that can be, I once had this adversary. He was my sworn mortal enemy. And after a certain amount of time, like that memory just has to fade, and maybe you start to misremember it, or it plays a different role for you later on. That's at least the concept. I was saying I had read a little bit about it, and I just ordered that along with Band of Blades.
Cool. Nice. Yeah.
Have you
I
played?
saw the Shut Up and Sit Down review of it.
Of the Thousand Year Vampire?
Yeah. And looked at it, and I'm like, am I going to do this? I still got to do Journal 29. There's video game. And then I didn't do it. But I also bought A Quiet Year this past PAX.
Yeah.
and you can play that alone. I haven't played it.
Quiet Year is great. I remember I played that probably half a dozen times with different groups, and it's always been a big hit.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really great.
But Rob, you were saying you've been looking at Band of
I was looking at Blades in the Dark and
Uh-huh.
now Band of Blades.
Yeah, I ran like a 30-session campaign of Blades in the Dark.
And was it fun?
It was great. Yeah, it was really, really great. The dice mechanics are pretty hard to get used to. And the only thing I didn't like about it is that because it's like a dice pool thing, and like you have to make decisions about, well, I get a dice for this, and do I get a dice for that? There's a little bit of like conversation around how many dice you get,
A little finicky.
and that kind of slowed down. But the trade-off is you don't have to roll that much because there's a lot of, you only kind of roll at key moments. Yeah, we had a really good time.
And a lot of it is sort of the what you got playing out flashbacks, which I think is
Yeah. Super
Right.
fun. The flashback mechanic is really great.
one of the best sort of innovations I feel like, on that list of top 25 the past decade is the idea that, oh, you know what, you're going out on an adventure, you don't need to notate every single like loop of twine that you have with you.
Yeah.
There'll be some sort of mechanic or way for you to potentially get that, or maybe not in the moment you need it.
Yeah.
No, that sounds great. I love it because then part of that loop is, right, you're telling a story about, how you planned it or found the grappling hook, or, it was your father's grappling hook and
Exactly.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, I think that's awesome because it gives you an incentive to kind of weave the whole thing together. And it matches sort of a lot of the movies we see where they do, cut out of the action into the past and then back. And it's a cool idea.
Yeah, John Harper came up with the flashback for Blades because he was so tired of sessions where people would spend 2 hours planning the heist. And he just wanted a way to get in there, get into the action, and then in retrospect you can say, oh yeah, and this morning I disabled the laser scanner or whatever, and then you roll dice to see how well you disabled it. You can actually do that in this game if you want to. There's a move called Establish where you can establish something about the world, including something that happened in the past.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome. So you can use that for your own character as well.
Yeah, you can use that. That's at your disposal.
Oh, very nice. Establish.
It's just called Establish, yeah. So the way the game works is just like any role-playing game. You just all you guys have to worry about is describe what you want your character to do, and the way powered by the Apocalypse games, which is what Dungeon World is, which is what this is. They're called that because Apocalypse World was the kind of pioneer game. What you do and say will trigger different what we call moves, which are just little. You can just think of them as sort of self-contained rules. So you'll just, you know, if you get in a fight and you describe a situation, you're like, okay, I take out my sword and I attack the guy. That triggers the fight move, and then you just go to that move and you read the instructions for what to do for that move. But you can do, just like any role-playing game, you can do whatever you want to do. Just certain actions will trigger these mechanical things, and I will just be aware of when they do trigger, and then I'll show you guys the rules on the page, and you can sort of follow along to see how that works. So on your end, you just have to think about what your characters do. When it gets down to like a tight mechanically, where the mechanics really matter, I'll let you know. I'll make sure I explain the stakes of any decision that you make, so you don't have to worry that you're making a bad decision that'll get you into trouble. I'll give you plenty of warning. Of course, keeping into account the fact that nobody has more than 4 hit points, I think.
Stakes are high.
So it's all dangerous. Yeah. Everybody ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the little village of Leget, which is connected to Leget Manor, which you see perched on the hill there.
How do you spell Leget? Is it Leget?
Leget, yeah.
Legit.
So 2 years ago, Baron Lambric Leget and his family, who were considered relatively benevolent lords of this area, his family and staff just stopped appearing in public. Deliveries went unreceived at the manor. Smoke ceased to issue from its many chimneys, and the windows lit by candlelight, once a reassuring sight to travelers on the North Road at night, went dark. Gardens left untended encroached upon the building itself. Curious children and foolish adults who strayed onto the grounds went missing. So, of course, all kinds of stories about ghosts and other horrors spread across the countryside. So that was 2 years ago when the manor went dark, and then in very short order it became a shunned location. So without the Lord there to rule over and make decisions and protect his subjects, a council, an informal council, was formed among the villagers called the Council of Three. And this is Melisande the blacksmith, Vacalin the elf, and Sister Cécile, a priest of Donavieve. And you can see the Church of Donavieve. If I can get my, this is the Church of Donavieve right here. Right? So there's this Council of Three that now make decisions for the town. And they managed to kind of like pull the village together and establish a little bit of a little more stability, because people were being super anxious and scared, and some people were leaving town. But things got worse when the Silver Brook, which is the main waterway that flows through town there, became tainted with something that began to poison the pigs and the sheep and anybody that drank from it. So now you're in a position where people have to go some distance to get fresh water if they want to avoid that. So the village is in quite a kind of dire spot. In addition, the last barley crop withered. So things are looking pretty bad.
Jason, this is like 13th century, 12th?
Yeah, in that zone, right in there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And which way does the river flow?
The river flows this way.
Okay.
Flows out from the, what's that place called?
The marshy area near the haunted.
Yes, that's called the mire.
Of course.
Yeah, so that was the circumstance.
I used to always love drinking a good cup of Meyer Brown, and I think that I just can't anymore.
PT.
Yeah.
So a big event happened just recently, which is Lady Lantrude Leger returned to the village. Lady Lantrude had been gone for several years, longer than the manor has been dark.
Oh, was she away?
She was away. She went away. She went away to basically get educated, and she wasn't the wife of the Lord. She was his daughter. So she has recently returned. Of course, this is big news. There are all kinds of rumors and whispers of what this might portend, and surely it's like a blessing.
Can I establish something?
Oh, sure.
I'd like to establish that my elf scholar was a few years ahead of her at that school, and was sent off maybe his senior year when she was a freshman. So we didn't overlap in any way. But that's what I'd like to establish anyway.
Yeah. So you didn't actually know her at the school?
No. I didn't actually know her at all. We just, share the same alma mater, and any of the claims that I've used to kind of establish my reputation with the villagers, which are just flatly untrue because I'm both lazy and stubborn, would be really obvious to her.
Oh.
You knew her sister's friend, who's roommates.
Did you what was the nature of the school?
It was oh God, what would it be in France?
It would be a nunnery because they wouldn't be educating women in France.
Well,
This is fantasy France.
Fantasy France doesn't have to be a sexist, I hope.
Fantasy
And
France.
actually, a lot of the early nunneries, like 12th, 13th century, there were a lot of mixed gender communities, and that turned out to be a big deal when that the gender thing got split.
So was it a religious college? Do elves follow human religion?
No, it was like a general academy with like a university, basically.
Okay, great, awesome.
And
you don't have. Let me think for a second.
Sure.
You're a liar, though, right?
No, that's the crier's the liar.
Okay.
I'm lazy and stubborn, so I never made it into the advanced graduate program and got booted out to the hinterlands, where I'm trying to tell everybody that I'm actually a great scholar, when in fact, this was the consolation prize of get Allard the hell out of this college because he's annoying the crap out of all of us.
But maybe you would have shared the same letters tutor, and that tutor was constantly telling Lantru about this terrible elven student. Maybe developed a little bit of a stereotype, like, oh, those lazy elves. Oh my goodness.
Oh, right, because she would be human, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, could be. Or, you don't want to end up like that one guy, Allard, old student, terrible. Guy was lazy, never did the reading, and he got sent off to some crappy little town. Certainly, a person of your grace would never have such a fate.
Yeah, great. So you don't even have to roll for that. There's nothing about that seems, it doesn't necessarily give you any advantage in the game.
Yeah, no, certainly not. Just,
so you
flavor.
You don't have to roll for that. It's now
okay.
That did happen. Great. So you know that, and then I assume nobody else knows that, and you're a little anxious that she's arrived back in.
Yes, I am. That's right.
And that's Allard, the elf scholar. Is that right?
Yep.
Scholar in quotes.
Hey, not you too.
So Lady Lantrude came back escorted only by her single manservant Argile, who looks very impressive to the villagers in his chainmail and red surcoat. And the day after her arrival, so she arrives, doesn't really talk to anybody, goes, learns that the council exists, goes to consult with the council, and none of you villagers really know what happens behind closed doors in the council chambers. The next day, the town crier has to announce that Lady Lantrude has is calling the village together to make an announcement. So what does that look like when what's the town crier's name?
Crespin.
Crespin. What does it look like when Crespin walks around? How does he get people's attention? He's wearing the.
He limps into them.
He bumps into them.
No. He has it written down on a scroll of some sort that he peers at. So he's not a declaiming guy who is proclaiming this way. He's like one of the psychoanalytic people who reads loudly from his notes that are right up in his face. I'm sorry, this is not good video, but
yeah.
Oh wow, it erases. Oh look, it's magic paper. It vanishes.
Yeah.
Can I vanish? Oh look. Sorry. Early Zoom humor. So Crespin announces it. Hear ye, come all to hear Well, I guess we're all going to meet at Saint. Gosh, what is the saint of the church? We're all going to meet at the church. He is super enthusiastic and gets a couple details wrong. That it is the Leget family is coming. There will be announcements, and it's very exciting opportunities for all. You certainly wouldn't want to miss it because maybe there's money to be had and great prosperity for all. The town will be saved. We can't wait to hear it. And Lady Leget has it all wrapped up. You'd be a fool to miss it.
So embellishing.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
And with great super enthusiasm. And when people point out that maybe that wasn't in the original, he does not. No.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it says here, right here. It says it right here.
Right. Dean, what are your two characters' names?
Genon and Jaspard.
And Genel is the forager?
No, Genon is the soothsayer.
Soothsayer, and then Gaspar.
Jaspar.
Jaspar.
I want to say Javert, but
You're right. Of course you do. And so, what is Genon when Genon sees Crespin doing this? What is Genon's general opinion of Crespin, the town crier?
he's an idiot. He's an idiot, and I know what he's going to say before he says it.
You're like, yeah, yada yada.
Yeah. Of course, she's coming, and she's going to make an announcement. Why else would she be here?
Does Genon abide by the? Is Genon a worshiper of Genevieve, or does Genon do her own thing as far as?
She does her own thing. She doesn't go with the sheep.
Okay, and so in terms of this kind of small societal, this village culture, is Genon like a kind of outsider?
Yes, but they come to me when they need me.
Oh, I see. So when they're not getting what they need from Genevieve.
Of course.
And where do you hold court when they do come to you? Is it in the village or outside somewhere?
I believe I live outside the village.
Like in the woods or a little hut?
Yeah, in like a cottage outside the village. I don't know. Let's say. Oh, you can't see mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the woods. What are these fields to the east of the main village?
These are fields. These are fields.
And
woods up here. Woods over here. This is an orchard here.
So
pears?
What?
Pears in the orchard. Pears, cherries, apples.
I'm going to say pears. Let's say pears.
Pears.
Yeah.
I wish so. Where I live near the river.
Okay. This is a milk pond right here, so maybe
on
over
the
here?
eastern side, on the runoff from the pond.
Yeah.
That's the west from where I'm looking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Your other west.
That's downstream. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm whatever this. Yeah. So right about where the trees start along the river is my cabin.
On the north side or the south side?
South side.
Okay. So like right in there. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So that's where Genon, and it's like a little hut in the woods?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So got little chicken legs on it.
So why are you within shouting distance of Crespin? Like,
I come into market every day.
Okay. So you're in town.
Of course. Okay. I have herbs. I actually do a fair business with the forager, Jasper.
Oh yeah, great.
Because I need the herbs. When the women of the village they need something taken care of, they come to me.
Okay.
When the men need actual healing rather than the prayer, they come to me.
So what is your relationship like with Sister Cecile, who presides over the church?
Détente,
Okay.
at best.
You kind of let each other exist, and yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Rob, will you tell me the names of your two characters?
Yes, so I have Ichtrude,
Right.
the humble-born but steadfast constable who, when something like Crespin, the town crier, is talking about like having to be at this activity, this speech the Lady Letrude is going to give, that I would say Ichtrude would spring into action, because who knows what could go wrong, and so that's where she would go.
Probably.
And then,
I think that Ichtrude would probably have been told at the same time as Crespin about this announcement, right? Like, I think the council probably gathered the two of you together and said, and because you are the local law enforcement, like you and Crespin at the same time are kind of informed, and then Crespin goes off to make the announcement.
And okay, and Crispin is the liar.
Yeah, though more distortions at this point. Like, he's not making up stuff out of whole cloth, but is like expands upon it, makes it sound bigger than it actually is, and totally believes it.
Embellisher, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally believes it. Okay, that's important.
No, he talks himself into it and gets into kind of a froth. Super passionate, low. God bless us, his wisdom is 6.
Great, perfect.
But he can put it on a show. Like, he gets the word out. He bumps into people to let them know that stuff is going on. So in that case, I think
pretty big voice, but no eye contact when he's speaking. The nearsightedness, he's always like just reading off the stuff, and it's hard to see that he's actually transcribing it accurately.
Got it.
And if the word is blurry, he just runs with whatever he thinks it is.
Right. Then I think Ichtrude might. Where is the speech going to be? We're
meeting at the church.
At the church, right? So,
and this must be in the market or in the town square or whatever, is where Crispin is who is probably not that tall, and maybe standing on a box, possibly too. Which, with the nearsightedness and the limp, you can kind of get a sense of how that all went out. But he will never admit to it. It's always a much more heroic story that the soothsayer has noticed is never the same story.
Yeah.
It's always different.
I
And
think
bear, and then it was a tiger and a wolf.
He must carry around a little step stool that he stands on.
Oh my God, yes. And when he puts it down, he's got a little brush that he brushes it off and, straightens his neckcloth and,
Okay. Rob, what about your other character?
That is Huvon, the eccentric rat catcher, who is dressed in a sort of a colorful puffy coat, and he's kind of painted it orange and purple and blue to really draw people's attention. He's got a ratty hat with like mouse ears. He has a rope tail.
With mouse ears? He's dressed up like
He's the first Mickey Mouse Club member.
Oh my God.
Mickey Rat, please.
Has a little chant he goes, because he's always looking for business, right? People need their rats caught. And it's really all Huvon has going for him.
Oh my God!
And he's a bit of a partier. He's got a bottle of spirits. He's always half in the bag when he can get it.
Oh, may I establish the town product? The town alcohol is a pear eau de vie. Eau de vie. Eau de vie.
Perfect.
And so once we hear that people will be gathering, Huvon will be there, drumming up a little business.
Okay, awesome. Is Huvon a little bit of like a harlequinning type character? Does he like dance and prance, or is he just is it just advertising? Is he just like?
It's more advertising. He is a hedonist,
but
I'm not sure that would be full on harlequin.
Okay.
We could go there.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was just curious.
Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean sort of flounciness.
Fantastic.
Yeah, except he doesn't have that kind of money or good looks at all.
What's his charisma?
It's like a 7.
Nice.
I believe.
Great. Maybe in his mind.
Okay, Bob Swander. Who
Yes.
we got?
We have Robinette, the ferry pilot, who plies her trade up and down the Silver Brook, I believe, probably taking things in from the far-flung farms and taking other supplies out.
Oh, great.
So she
also does sort of a side trade, not in the actual like good wines or pear brandies, but the real like hard stuff that is sort of the seconds or thirds that comes off of the harvest every year.
Ooh,
And
the Marc de Bourgogne.
yeah,
Right, yeah. They
is a
take-
very bad habit of, because especially since the water has gone bad,
yes.
a bad habit of perhaps leaning a bit more heavily into the trois, as they say, the thirds, so that you can really tell she has that rosiness in her face and her nose is lit up like Rudolph. But she
What's her name again?
Robinette.
Robinette, with your nose so bright, won't you lead our boat tonight?
Exactly. She's heard that one down at the local ale house, and she laughs right along. She
Oh yeah, that she takes it in good spirit.
And is Robinette, as she pulls along the waterways, does Robinette sing to herself? When I'm thinking about her, fine if she doesn't. It's just like the images that you're conjuring up to me is somebody who's rosy.
She does, because she's close friends with Gabriel de la Forêt, who is the resident troubadour, and so she's not good at it because her rhymes don't scan, and she has trouble coming up with sort of proper constructions, but she's constantly coming up with her own bawdy songs that she's trying to foist off on Gabriel to like put into the canon.
Oh, got it. Great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the 8 of you, along with
Thanks, Dean.
along with a crew of other villagers, show up at church. It's an early fall morning. Leaves are scattering in the wind. Unfortunately, the pear trees are looking somewhat withered. The harvest was not good, which just happened recently, I believe. Argile escorts, so everybody's kind of gathered there, and the town council building, which is just down the road, is where Argile and Lantrude have been staying. So the Council of Three emerges and walks up the street, and Argile is sort of by Lady Lantrude's side.
Is Ictrude the only real law in town?
Yes.
Then I think Ictrude would like to escort these notable people as well.
Perfect. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. So Ictrude is also walking towards the church with this gang of people. Nobody really got, except for Ictrude, actually, nobody got a good look at Lady Lantrude the day before. Most people just heard the word that she had arrived, and a few people had actually seen her and Argile come into town. But this is the first time most people laid eyes on her. She is...
She's older now, right? Because when she left, when she was sent to school, maybe she went at 10 or 12. Do you know what I mean? This was like boarding school. And now she's a young woman, or a slightly older woman if we prefer. But, she's in her 20s and unrecognizable from when most people in the town saw her.
Yes.
At least I'd like to argue to establish that. I don't know if
that's great. That's perfect. You do recognize, right? You don't remember the girl she doesn't resemble the girl you used to know, but she does have a striking resemblance to her father. So there is that. Like you do see the little Lantrude blood in her person. And anybody with a wisdom over 10 notices that she does not look well. That Argile is letting her walk on her own, and Ictrude has totally picked up on this as well. Yeah. Like she wants to put forward a strong presence, but her face is pale, and she's not as hale and hearty as the Leget family is known to be normally. So
Can I ask if the weakness is constitutional, or is there any physical kind of findings, limp, slouch, facial pallor?
There's no lip. It's really it's like a pallor.
Like a wasted rather than a particular injury or anything that we would recognize.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Jaspar says to the town crier guy, "Hey, you knew her before. Was she always this delicate?"
Crespin yes, very delicate constitution, and that's why she was sent. God, I'm English. Why she was sent off to school to, probably toughen her up, possibly. Very, very delicate, intellectual flower, and my goodness, how she's blossomed. Perfect, wonderful constitution. So pale, so refined, so graceful. You can see the aristocratic blood runs through her, just as it ran through her father.
Dean, that is...
now, I can't actually see her very well, right? She's just like a blur. Do you know what I mean? Like an aristocratic shaped blur, but I'm convinced.
Yeah. Dean, thank you for kind of piping up like that. I just want to make it clear that anybody can do that at any time. If you feel like your character wants to say something or interject or take action, as we go on, there's no initiative in this game. There's no turn order, so it's all about who says what they want to do when, and then we kind of figure it out. So feel free to, I will at times ask, what do you do? But feel free to kind of just jump in with something that your character does.
Okay.
So she arrives at the church, and they climbs there's just like 3 or 4 steps. So she climbs the steps to the entrance, and everybody's kind of gathered in a semicircle around. And Crespin, you have to announce the presence of Lady Lantrude.
Good gentles, oh God, can I be English? I can't do it.
It's a BBC production, so all continental people are English. Oh wait, we lost you. Your audio. Wait, can you guys hear me?
We can all hear you.
Okay, sorry, I totally lost Kevin there for a second.
Oh crap!
His announcing may have blown out your speakers for us.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. Yes, gentles, out of the grace that the Leget family has shown our town from generations nigh uncountable, even though we have all been concerned of the current events that have been taking place, here is the Lady Leget, and please all give her your full attention as she gives us the grace of her presence and her whatever. And I would imagine at some point the constable nudges Crispin, who is going on way too long about this, at which point he sort of recovers, stumbles, and is possibly caught or not caught on the way down by the constable.
Well, the constable may not catch you because she wants to be, deferential to our guests. Speaker here.
There is a clatter as I fall back, and I don't know if I lose one of my precious 2 hit points, but I go down in a little bit of a heap.
Okay. Is anybody in town sympathetic to you? To Crispin?
Hard to believe.
He's okay. He's an idiot, but he's our idiot.
I mean, I think Robin is one who would certainly sort of. Crispin has stumbled to the side. Is that what I?
Yes.
Yeah. He's like stumbled down the stairs and fallen. Is what I've understood.
All of a sudden, shooting out, there's the end of a pole just extending out of the crowd and gently catches him sort of mid chest. I mean, not causing any damage, but just holding him up, expertly wielded, and Robinette sort of chokes up and comes up and helps him down the last stair, gives him a hearty slap on the back.
Chokes up.
Well said.
Many thanks. Oh, there's many thanks.
And Bob, what do you mean by chokes up? Like.
Oh, so she has the pole. It's sort of out.
Oh, choking the pole.
Yeah, the pole to.
Not actually emotionally moved by it. Got it. Cool.
So it's Jason, very sad.
Can Eechtrude, as the Lady Lantrude comes out, can she say a few words, just because Eechtrude is, she's humble born. She is literally a dirty, like has tattered clothing, but has risen up to this place of, some kind of prominence in the town. But she is very worried that people would be judging Lady Lantrude right now because, she's been away and can see that she doesn't feel well. And Ichtrude just wants to kind of whisper, "It's so good that you've come back to the town, my lady."
Oh.
And kind of usher her past Crespin and to where she can speak.
So you say that, and Lantrude pauses. Argile gives you kind of a stern look, but Lantrude pauses and looks over and reaches out and just grasps your wrist for a moment. Like there's a brief squeeze on your wrist, and she looks you right in the eye, and you feel recognized. Like this person, this noble-born person, sees you and like respects you.
Oh yeah, that would be special for Ichtrude.
They're so good, this family, so good for this town. We don't deserve people that great. That's so wonderful. She's back. It's all going to be fine now.
Hear me, good people, for I am Lantrude, daughter of Lambric. Many of you know me as a child, before I was sent abroad. 2 years it took for word of my father's disappearance to reach me. As I stand before you now, a mere 10 days after hearing the terrible news. I am come to claim my birthright. My ancestral home, this village, the fields surrounding, and your fealty as subjects of House Leget. The council has just confirmed my fears, that in my absence, a curse has fallen upon our beloved homeland. Tainted water, dying animals, withered crops, and worse. Donoviev, protect us from the perpetrator of these evils. Who was Pius? Which character was Pius?
Oh, Crespin, so pious, Yes, thank you.
So what's the
so good?
Donoviev is the goddess of what is her thing? Donoviev is the goddess of harvest and mourning, like the passing of people, right? So she's
like death.
Yeah, she's got a scythe, like her symbol.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, right, the harvest, and then the passing of all things.
Yeah.
The harvest of souls.
What is the hand
holy
gesture?
day?
What is the physical gesture that reflects a kind of gesture towards? So when Donovan's name is invoked, you do that?
Oh, God help us, no. Gosh, what would it be? I don't know. Anybody got a nice hand jive?
Any kind of
I'd say maybe it's the goddess of the harvest. I'd say maybe it would be the raising of the wheat.
Oh yeah, beautiful, and up and down.
Oh, like that.
Raising of the wheat and the scything as it goes.
That's great. That's great. So that's the
holding first down.
I don't know. I like this better. But
I think that might be the soothsayer's way of honoring Donaviev. Okay, so Donoviev's name is invoked, and Sister Cecile that makes that gesture, and there's some muttered, whispered prayers amongst the crowd. And can there be any doubt as to the identity of this perpetrator? Steel yourselves, my friends, for what you suspect in your hearts is true, that Grenouille Noir, our ancient foe, has returned. The original worshippers of this vile monstrosity were driven from the mire over a century past by my great-grandsire, Lazare I. Until my father's disappearance, we all enjoyed many years of peace and prosperity. But yesterday, as we rode up the North Road, I felt the black fever upon me. 'Tis true, the curse of Grenouille Noir has finally come to bear upon my bloodline. And so I must call upon you, my loyal subjects, to drive the corrupter once and for all from the halls of Leget Manor. Should you undertake this task, and assist in cleansing my ancestral seat of evil influence, I grant you leave to keep anything you can carry with you. Alas, this is all I have to offer. For House Leget!
For House Leget! Yes! Oh my goodness, this is going to be so good. It's so exciting! I can't wait to see who's going to go!
And then she, the last kind of thing she says, was the last of her strength, and she kind of stumbles, and Argile and Ichtrude move to, if that's okay, Rob. Move to stabilize her, and there's much hubbub, and she's kind of quickly escorted away.
So graceful she is. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, so wonderful.
And then the Council of Three takes position. So that's Sister Cecile, who oversees the church, Melisande the blacksmith, and Vacalin the elf. and they call. You have heard the lady. Who among you will rise to this task and reclaim the manor? So a call for volunteers is made. And guess who comes?
You'll never guess.
Why does the soothsayer come along? Why is the soothsayer interested in helping out?
She knew this was going to happen. And she sees a chance to redistribute wealth from the nobility class, which has no actual cause to be noble. It's all a construct. And she's pretty sure that there's vampires up there.
Vampires are a thing.
That's what she sees.
Okay.
In the future. And Jaspar, profit.
That's Jaspar's whole motivation.
I am a forager. You have given me a chance to forage in a rich mansion.
Right, the greatest
That's
field.
the best foraging I could ever do.
That's right.
Awesome.
I can keep whatever I can carry. Awesome. I can carry a lot. I got a sack.
How about yeah, go ahead.
I got a knife to cut paintings out of frames. You roll those up. Rich people pay money for them. I don't know. Suddenly I'll be mayor.
Jaspar the Vandal is what we're looking at. Great. How about Houvin, the rat catcher? Why does Houvin want to go?
It's similar, but Houvin would be a little more like he would be very interested in the wine cellar and what could possibly be in there beyond wine. The nobles that I can't even imagine what they might have in there.
Great.
I'm not gonna really help anybody. I'll just be in there to see what's to be seen.
Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. And I think we know why Extrude wants to.
Yeah. Does not hesitate for a moment. I would be so honored to help you, my lady.
And then how about Robinette and wait, sorry. What's the troubadour's name again?
Gabre de la Forêt.
Gabre. Okay.
Gabre actually is strumming on his lyre as he's sort of testing something out. He's going,
Excuse me?
Merry, brave folk of Leget, who are afeared but will not go away. We know we'd find great evil there in the lair of the great Ribbeter. And he's like, no. Ribbeter. Nah. And Robinette's there and she says, what about I mean something just more like a frog and in the bog? How's that? So they're workshopping, but they're ready.
Just a quick question. We're going to the mansion, not the swamp, right?
You've been asked to purge the mansion of what evil curse has befallen it.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the
Noir.
evil curse is the gold.
What is Grey Wind Noir? Does anybody know?
Bob knows actual French, which is why he's referring to frogs.
So it's the black frog, Grand Wii Noir.
Oh.
Is
All
the
I know is
black-
Pêche à la frog
The
or frog à la
dire
pêche.
Ribbeter, as
Rosie the Riveter.
yes, Rosie.
All right, so they're both in. And why does Alar, the elf scholar, want to do this?
Sorry. Alar, the elf scholar, wants no part of this nonsense. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe these dirty peasants are thinking of going into this place. You need, actual people to do this. Unfortunately, Allard is in the back row where he's been trying to keep a very low profile because he knows the lady has been to his school, and God bless us if she reveals any of the little kind of airs that he's had that he's would be expose. He was sitting in the back row, but who else is in the back row? Is there anybody else in the back row with me?
Huvon might be back there in the
And
beginning.
Who's Huvon?
Huvon is the rat catcher.
Yes, exactly right. So Huvon the rat catcher also may have the occasional small insect that comes sometimes with rats in 13th century French settings. And Allard thinks one of them may have hopped, if you will, flea-like, upon him and stands up suddenly at the back and is like, trying to get this off him. At which point, whoever is recording the party,
Ichtrude is. Oh,
Ichtrude is like, Allard,
scholar.
so good of you to volunteer. And terrified in the spotlight, trying not to be embarrassed, he is shamed into going, which he otherwise most certainly would not want to do, but has no, with a, well, you know what? His wisdom is 12, but his luck is 7, and he can't come up with anything in the moment to get out of it. So he is ended up being stuck.
Stuck.
And Crespin is chortling with, oh, how delightful, our best citizens, everyone's going, helping the monarchy, this is so great, the priestess, it'll all go well. And the sister, who really thinks he's insufferable, even though he's on her team, says something to the effect of, and of course, Crespin, you will go to record these exploits and announce it to the town on the way back. And he's also stuck. He does not want to do this at all, but is guilted into it or assigned into it and cannot see a way out.
Okay, great.
Maybe even put it in a place of power, right? The town crier. I mean, you have some kind of.
Oh, I know what the town crier is. This is, yeah. So the next thing that happens, Melisande, who you realize has an object that's wrapped in burlap, calls up Ichtrude. Oh, Ichtrude's already up on the stairs.
Melisande is the blacksmith?
Melisande is the blacksmith, yeah. And she says, Ichtrude, you have served this village well in your role as constable, and it is only right that you lead this group of your
I would be
fellows
most honored
on this expedition. And as leader, I give to you my finest sword, which I have spent the past 2 months working on. She unwraps an actual sword, like the biggest. You have a short sword currently, like an old.
That's right. Yes.
Old beat up short sword. Beautiful, very simple, but beautiful, polished, razor edged sword. And pressed into the hilt of it is the name Varite.
Varite. Wow.
For a funnel, a real weapon.
A real weapon.
I know.
So she hands that to you.
And a large.
So honored.
Oh, sorry.
So I am so honored to represent the village in this way. But I'll need a second. And she pulls out her short sword, looks through the crowd of people that have signed up here. The soothsayer, the soothsayer's name is
Janon.
Janon.
Yeah.
Janon. Jesper the forager, Robinette the fairy pilot, Gabriel the elven bard. I think it's got to be Crespin.
Oh, God help us.
Totally has to be Crespin.
Would you assist me in this duty?
Oh, that's not unreasonable, actually. He's got a limp, but his dexterity is 14. So, and a short sword's probably about what he could swing. The strength is not what one might imagine. Oh, sorry.
So you've been deputized.
You have been deputized. You are now my deputy.
And Crespin's heart swelled 3 sizes that day with a short sword. Pleased as punch, proud as can be. Oh, he's gonna feel great about this. Now he's got a short sword. He's safe. It's okay.
Now he wants to go.
He does now. Oh God, yeah. If we knew there was a short sword in it at the start of this, he probably might have gone for it. A quick question: can Allard remember anything from his education about Grenouillard, either legend, history, something?
Yeah, so that's a find answers roll.
Okay.
Find answers.
Yeah, here, let me, all right, let me do Share. Are you guys seeing the rules?
And we're seeing the random villager
Okay.
items.
Great.
So that will be against intelligence, right?
You have 3 options for financiers. You can see here. Do you guys see that? The move kind of.
Yeah, wisdom, int, or charisma.
When you seek information that is more than readily apparent, you ask the GM a question and roll. Yeah, so it would be intelligence.
I'm rolling what? I'm rolling 2d6.
You're rolling the basic roll in the game is 2d6 plus your plus whatever modifier.
Okay, gotcha.
So
So I think this is recall, basically, of he's heard any legends or stories or anything from his education.
Now, what's the question that you want to answer here? It doesn't have to be. It can be as specific or general as you want.
Yeah, that's a great.
And
I
also,
guess
before you go, sorry, let me just say, you can also recall this stuff during the adventure as well, right? So obviously this would be whatever is relevant to your concerns right now, but later on you can also try to recall more about Grenouille Noir if you want. So yeah, ask whatever.
Using the same roll?
No, using a new roll. And everything we do is
so the thing that he's worried about right now is getting sick with the black fever, whatever the heck that is. And so the ways to not get the black fever or symptoms of the black fever, whichever he can remember. And he knows it was on the left-hand side of that one book right before the end of the chapter, but he doesn't really recall it. He crammed it right before the exam, but that was like 8 years ago.
So he's trying to recall about the black fever.
Yeah, black fever.
Go for it.
So 2d6 plus 1. It's a 6 plus 1, so a 7.
Okay, so generally speaking, most of these rolls, the 10 or higher is considered, you do it, it's a great success. 7 to 9, it's a mixed result. You do it, but there's usually a trade-off. 6 or less, you can still do it, but there's always a complication or things get worse. And there's usually some kind of compensation in terms of like XP or something like that. But anyway, you got a 7. That's in the 7 to 9 range. You can see there on the move. It says the judge's answer will be cryptic or incomplete, but they'll tell you how you can learn more. In this context, the way you can learn more is, I'm going to say that Sister Cecile in the church, there's in the church's very, very small library, which is comprised of maybe a half dozen books and scrolls. You know that there's more information in there about the Grenouille Noir and the black fever. The only thing that you recall from your studies is this idea, and maybe it's just because it was a sharp visual for you, this idea that an early sign of the black fever is that you can start to see people's veins in their skin. Their veins start to blacken. And they start to show up. So that's the one. You know that there were other symptoms, and you know that there's like you recall that there's like a progression, but that's the most vivid detail you remember from.
Jason, if I can have Gabre establish something.
Yeah, sure.
There's actually a song, because that is the Leget claim to fame, is the defeat of the Grenouille Noir, and that is what gave them preeminence in this area. And so there's actually a little tavern song about how the original Leget was a little boy who tricked Grenouille Noir into swallowing an icon of Don Yves. Was it Don?
Donoviev, yeah.
Doniev. Tricked him into swallowing it by fashioning it to look like a fly, and that's what blew apart, or it scattered the essence of Le Grenouille Noir.
Oh my gosh.
Song he knows. So I'd like to establish.
You don't even have to roll for that.
Does anyone know why he swallowed a fly? Perhaps he'll die.
That's lovely, because Don Viev, goddess of the transition into the afterlife, there to kind of get Grenouille Noir back, to where it maybe came from.
Into the rightful cycle. He was, because the initial part of the song is he was just a regular little toad who happened to hop along and eat a little bit of the devil's essence and grew bloated on it.
And overstayed the seasons, right? Because a frog only lasts 1 year. And so he hung on bigger and uglier and more awful as time went on, and the cycle was disrupted. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of a collaborative campaign setting, is that's already so much better than the stuff I've written down. That's all true. Are you
It's actually really cool, right?
Recalling the song.
No, he's strumming along. He's sort of singing to himself because he had been workshopping that bit on the new one about going over. But then he just sort of falls into old patterns and is singing the tale of the boy Leget and how he made La Grenouille go away.
Okay. And what is Gabre's relationship to Donoviev?
He is. It's sort of just another item to pass into. To sing about, not an adherent at all.
Okay.
Although he has been asked to sing at some of the larger functions.
Of course. Yeah.
But that's purely transactional.
It's a gig.
So, and do the elves have a different sort of pantheon, or do they even have gods?
They do. So it's interesting. The elves are often described as forest people, which is why he's Gabre, Les Forêts, Gabre of the forest. Because everyone just assumes that he came out of the forest and knows all the secrets of the woods, but he actually he was born in a village.
Oh, can I establish the elves were displaced? That they were here first and were sort of knocked out, and that, as Rob is saying, lots of beliefs about the elves that are maybe not exactly accurate, but are always imputed to them.
Great. Yeah. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I would say because of that, there's no real pantheon. Like I think the elves are catch as catch can, and maybe there's some different legends, but and some apocryphal stories that he was handed down, but nothing that would establish that would be necessarily simpatico with what another elf would believe.
Okay, great.
Oh, and may I also establish this on my own character that a lard is is absolutely convinced that he was not understood at the academy, even though unfortunately for him he was understood pretty well as to being just not very good.
Thank you for establishing that.
You have opened up a can of worms with this established thing.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. We are writing the history of this world.
I would like to know, between Jaspar, the forager, and Robinette, the ferry pilot, which of the two of them is more, or even at all, religious?
The forger, you said?
The forager, yeah. So Dean's
the forager. Dean's
or,
forager. Yeah. I don't know, Dean. I'll let you take the lead on this. Do you think the forager is very?
I am cruel, so where the religion punishes people, I am all for it.
Yeah, I would say Robinette is. I'd say that Robinette is not. Is one who almost with a sort of childlike fascination loves the stories and loves the art and the pomp of the church, and so she goes when she can and believes in her own way.
Okay. Great. So Sister Cecile calls Robinette up to the steps. Robinette, our faithful ferry pilot.
Yes, my lady.
You have plied these waters for years, connecting us to our kin along the waterways. You have attended faithfully the services in the church. You imbibe the holy spirits on a regular basis.
You love that part. Are we having spirits today?
To you, I bestow the blessing of the goddess, and she, out of a kind of box that I guess sort of sitting on the stairs, she turns back and she pulls out this thing which is used sometimes in ceremonies, and it's a ceremonial silver mace. So it's got a handle with a big head on it, and the head is perforated by holes all over it, and it is used to carry holy water and to sprinkle whenever there's a benediction or whatever, Cecile uses this to sprinkle holy water. So she gives this to you.
Oh, sister, no, I will only make it dirty. Oh, sister, no.
She puts her hand on your arm and says, "My dear, you must go forth and make the manor clean once more.
Oh.
We are relying upon you."
Robinette turns and says, well, she says, sister, thank you. She turns around. Does anyone have a broom? He goes,
A villager produces a broom of bound branches.
Yeah.
A broom? What? A broom?
she gratefully accepts it and just reverentially carrying this mace, in cradling it in her arm.
Along with the mace is a silver decanter on a long chain that you can wear over your shoulder. And Cecile has blessed the water within. So you have a decanter of 5 uses of holy water.
She puts that across her broad shoulders.
Right. And that has 5 uses. And it weighs 1, and the mace also weighs 1. It's pretty heavy. And the last item is actually this doesn't happen publicly. Let me see here. Jaspar is tapped on the shoulder.
Oui.
And Vacalin the elf, who is the one of the members of the council. She has like long, intricate braids in the elvish style. And she's definitely the most kind of all the people in the village before Lantrude arrived, Vacalin was kind of the most noble seeming. And in fact, in elf culture, she probably came from some high line. Jasper.
Yes.
I know that in your work in the woods, you are quiet, and there may be need on this expedition for you to be even more quiet.
I'm very quiet.
Take these and use them in time of need. And she gives you a pair of elf slippers, which are doe skin slippers that are, maybe she's giving them to you because you're the only one with the right size feet. You're not sure. But she gives you a pair of doe skin elf slippers.
Okay. Got it.
And the time has come to depart the village. And also check in about overall time frame. It's 10 o'clock right now. And I don't know, I'm happy to go till midnight, but I don't know how much time you guys have to.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, Alyssa and I will probably need to depart after a little bit.
Okay.
To fit back in the rhythm of the babies and getting some sleep ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. What yeah, like how much time more would you like to?
I don't know. Liz, what do you say? Like 10:30? Yeah, maybe 10:30.
So 10:30? Okay, sure, great. Let's do it.
Can I ask, as Allard, can I ask the either the sister or Vacalin if there are any texts or references we should take with us on our expedition, or a book I can borrow? My character has a book on their sheet, but I don't know what that book would be, and maybe I can ask if there's some reference guide, something else, a history that could be helpful for us on our journey.
So you get to decide what the title of that book is, and the title of a book is like a kind of umbrella that you can, anytime that you establish or find answers, you can look in your book to see if it's useful, and you get to take +1 to your roll if the subject would be addressed by the book, right?
Right. Okay. So the fine and true history of Leget and surrounding territories, 1200 to 1285.
There you go. Great. Yeah, write it down.
Gotcha.
And as far as your query goes, there are certainly books that might be useful in the collection of the church. But Cecile is not, despite the kind of dire need for what's going on, I think Cecile doesn't quite trust Alar.
Well, and may also not think she's getting this book back. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
these
exactly.
are precious. They've only got 12 volumes in the whole place. She's not going to lose one up to the mansion, and I'm probably going to get it wet, or, you know.
Yeah. So she hesitates, but you're welcome to negotiate with her to try to convince her to give you the book. And if you look on the far right column of this page that's up right now, you can see the negotiate move.
Oh, okay. Then I will appeal to her sense of reason that if she lets us, maybe even just lets me look at it for a little while to kind of review some stuff, it's more likely that we will be successful and a second group might not need to go.
Great, go for it.
Right. So int is 15. That's a +1 to this roll, which is, it's a 3. So it's a 4.
+1 is 4. So you get to mark the ability used. So if you look at intelligence on your sheet now,
Yep.
on these, I think maybe in that Google Doc you can grab a little. There's a way to make marks like a pencil or a paint.
Oh yeah, no,
So
absolutely.
you mark one of the little bubbles in that stat, the 4 little bubbles at the top of the stat box, and
Gotcha. I will.
when that all fills up, your stat goes up by 1.
Okay.
So every time you roll 6 or less.
Every move is specific, and most moves that's one of the things that happens is you get to mark an ability. Yeah. Some moves just give you XP, but that's often what happens. So that the more when you fail, there's actually opportunity to grow over time.
All right, cool.
And let's see, on a 6 or less, mark the ability used, and they'll have none of it. Time to try. Yeah, so this is kind of like nods, and like there's a point where like you're talking and she kind of like looks over your shoulder and sort of stares off into space, and maybe you look away for a second and then she looks up at the heaven as if to ask for help, and then in a very kind way she says, "I'm so sorry, Alar.
So very sorry.
Books are so precious, as you know. I'm a great admirer of the volume that you carry about with you. I'm sure you know it backwards and forwards, and another reason why you are ideal for this task. But I cannot risk these tomes." All right. Any other business before you leave town? Any other kind of supplies that the village could reasonably have that anybody feels like they want to bring with them?
Is the sword that I was given is a one-handed sword, like a long sword?
Yes.
This could be dangerous, and I feel like as the constable, I need to keep people safe. Is there some kind of shield in town I could go and borrow from somebody? Something like an old soldier maybe has a shield.
That sounds like you need to get lucky, because it's not a given in a town this size that would exist. So you're going to roll to get lucky, which is also on this page here. So when you hope things will go your way, it's a luck roll.
I am hopeful as a personality trait, but I am not lucky. Well, I'm an 11, so that's just +0. Okay.
That's right.
So I will roll the white dice, and I got a drop one on the floor, an 11.
Nice. Yeah. It's just as you say, there is an old veteran, probably somebody who helped train you in the use of the short sword.
That's right.
Will you roll percentile dice real quick for me?
Sure. I got a 87.
Yeah, his name is Symphonia.
Symphonia.
And he definitely saw, I think he served under the Baron at some point. He's definitely seen some action in his time, and he respects you. I think that he's actually brought it to this gathering, and kind of not in front of everybody, but he takes you aside. And it is his it's actually his, it's a battered old shield that has the the coat of arms of House Leget on it.
Oh, what is that coat of arms? What is the?
It is a raven on a red field.
All right, that's awesome.
Yeah. So in fact, the whole shield is painted red, and the raven is kind of hammered out of it so it's a little bit bas relief and painted black. And you know that he had this hanging on his wall in his home, and he clearly has taken some time to clean it up and put a fresh coat of paint on it. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. Is a raven taking flight? Is a raven perched?
Here's what it looks like right there. You see that?
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
How far is it? Is this something where we'd need some provisions? Because Robinette tends to snack on a regular basis.
It's less. You can see it. It's within. It's only about a couple miles away.
All right.
If you end up stuck there, you might need food. So it's certainly something worth considering.
Robinette's gonna scrape together some probably some bacon and a rasher of bacon and maybe some fresh baguette with some new butter.
I might be able to catch a few rats at the manor if we are in danger of starvation or.
It looks close on the map.
Lack of snacking.
It's very close. Yeah.
It looks like it's just kind of up the hill.
Yeah, bringing food's definitely a good idea.
Is there any way Jenon can look into the actual future and see what she thinks we'll need?
Of course, you're a soothsayer.
Of course.
But you gotta let us know how what that looks like, what she does to pull that off. Bob, let's just say you have 7 uses of rations. You have that much. That's like one, good parcel full. You can see on the lower right-hand corner, the first entry on the provisions list there.
Great. She keeps handing things to Gabriel because he was already holding her pot of fat.
Yes.
And so she just keeps loading him up with other things because she says it's very special. I must carry this for the sister because she has the decanter, she has the mace, and her pole. She's quite loaded down. So she says, Gabriel, please,
Great.
my friend, in your pockets.
Yes.
A bit of bacon, a bit of butter, a bit of baguette.
Great.
I'm sorry, Dean, you go.
Yeah, Dean, go.
Jenon gets out her clicker clackers, closes her eyes.
Which is now, just give us it's 2 stones on a little piece of
so it is a ring.
Okay.
With 2 strings leading down from the ring.
Yeah.
And at the end of each string is a polished piece of stone with a groove in the middle that the string is tied on.
Kind of like a yo-yo type structure, but
yeah. But so when I was a kid, they were all the rage. It was acrylic things, and you went clack 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 clack, and then they started shattering and flying in all directions and killing kids.
What, really?
They took them off the market. Well, injuring them at least.
Wow.
It was a different time. We played with things that could kill you.
Yeah.
So that is what she has. They're polished granite. They make a very loud click clack sound.
That's in fact why she moved out of the town where there were complaints because of the noise.
Possibly.
Neighbors unhappy.
You know when there's a kid in the neighborhood playing with click clackers. And it builds to, and should any of the strings give away, somebody could be seriously hurt.
So it starts out clack, 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 and then it kind of intensifies. And gets
clack, 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 clack.
Okay, and this is like right after Cecile has said no to Alar, and then Cecile hears that sound, and she looks over, and she's like, she just rolls her eyes. You don't see her do this, but she's
well, I have my eyes closed, and I am humming a tune from my girlhood, from my childhood, which is it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or whatever the equivalent would be. until, and here's the uncanny thing, when I get my vision, the clackers stop instantly.
Ooh,
Ooh.
cool.
Neat. Did like a rest.
Yeah, which seems to defy physics.
Right. Somehow they just stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that they just snap off the string and go flying.
Well, that's the other way it could happen. If
Maybe they
goes
point and then-
badly.
Vibrate just a little bit in place. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So it sounds like you're trying to find answers. What's the question you're asking?
The question I'm asking is, what will we need in this mansion? What is the thing we will need the most?
The thing you will need the most. Okay. It sounds like you're using wisdom, right?
It's not my strong suit.
Well, I'm happy to hear arguments for other abilities. Wisdom,
Luck?
intelligence, and charisma are your choices.
Oh,
Not luck.
well then charisma it is. I charm the universe.
Well, you'll see
Or
that
telling me
in
its
five
answers.
answers, when you use charisma, it says you're asking around, so you must be asking the universe, right?
Yes.
Yes, great.
Okay, and I rolled 2d6?
Yep, 2d6 plus your charisma modifier.
Okay, I can do that. That would be a 13. Oh, 12, sorry.
Nice. Great. I give you a clear and thorough answer, and you may ask follow-up questions.
Okay.
Well, the most important thing, and I don't know how Jeanne feels about this, the most important thing, the clackers stop, and when you open your eyes, you're staring right at Robinette has just finished offloading all of the foodstuffs onto the elf, and is like hefting up this ceremonial silver mace, kind of is holding it up. And at the moment you open your eyes, like through the crowd of people, like there's actually like a ray of light. So it's an overcast day, and there's a ray of light comes down from the clouds, and that silver mace just like brightly shines, and you instantly understand that of all the things you have access to, that is the most important thing.
Robinette gives a startled I guess as she's blinded for a moment and sort of stumbles back a moment in that sort of auspicious.
So quick follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Is it the silver or the holy water or the weapon?
Great. It's the holy water. It's the blessed water within.
Okay. So then I will approach who gave you the mace?
Sister Cecile gave.
I will approach Sister Cecile and say, Sister, I see that your holy water is the most important thing that we could carry with us. Is it possible you have any more? And I am ready to get lucky.
You can either get lucky or negotiate. You can actually just get lucky or
talk it through.
talk it through. Like I think because you're a non-believer, Cecile is of course very reluctant to entrust you with anything having to do with.
It is true that I am a non-believer, but the universe has shown me perhaps that the way of the holy water is the way of success.
Is it the water itself that you feel will be helpful, or is it some other power?
Perhaps it is the power of your God.
Really? Are you trying to appeal to her sense of reason, or charm, or deceive her?
I would rather charm her.
Okay. I think deception. You're trying to like convince her that you actually give some credence to her religion, right?
Well,
Both are charisma. Both are charisma. Just so you know.
yeah.
So you think charming.
Yes, but it's also, don't you think that perhaps should I be right? Should your holy water save this entire endeavor or enable this entire endeavor, that perhaps I will become a believer?
Great. Yeah, roll. I love it.
Okay. And that one would be an 11.
All right.
Ooh,
I like these dice.
So Cecile glances down at Robinette and looks at you and looks up at the heavens, and she asks you to wait a moment, and she turns back into the church, and she returns with, it's actually, so glass is very rare.
Okay.
She returns with a glass bottle that weighs 1, and it's like a pretty hefty green glass bottle, like with kind of like a net of wire around it, and a stopper, a ceramic stopper on the top. So she comes out and says, "I was saving this for the baby that is due this week."
Poor baby.
Hey, she can bless some more.
Baby's in trouble.
Donovier be with you, and she gives that to. May you see the light of the goddess.
Perhaps you have saved 2 souls today.
Oh, yeah. All right. All right, so we're gonna wrap up soon because Bob and Alyssa have to roll. But let's just.
Do we talk about scheduling for another game?
Yeah, let's get you. Let me just set the stage here. So, does everybody see the village again?
Yep.
Okay. So you're gonna. You're all gathered there. Everybody sort of, the whole village. Hey, everybody.
Jason, I don't know if you can see chat. I had 2 quick things I wanted to try before we bail.
Okay.
One was that Crespin, Pious Crespin, would be asking for that the sister would bless, the short sword he's been given as consecrated.
Yep.
And on the more scammy side, Allard, who really wants that damn book and is kind of stubborn, is going to try to rip out a page while the distraction from the soothsayer was taking place, particularly the loud clacking.
So he's gonna slip into the church and rip out a page from the book.
Well, I think they were looking at the book possibly, or when he was asking for access, or if it's not around, then never mind. But I was under the impression that they were like standing near the books, where the books were, it was a book that was open, and he was just going to
they're all.
rip out a page.
Everybody knows that the church has a small library of books, and they're all inside the church in like.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so you'd have to go.
Who rips a page out of the Bible?
Well,
out of a
Holds it upside down.
this guy.
She, without question, fully understanding your devotion to the goddess, blesses your short sword.
And I'm gonna, if it doesn't sound like Allard could have a chance at opportunity of it, so never mind.
A chance of opportunity.
Oh, to grab, pocket, steal, or something. The book. It doesn't sound like he would have that opportunity. So, and I don't think he is going to sneak in, try to grab it and pocket it while stuff is happening. He's an impulsive thief, not a planner or a terror.
Great. All right. That business taken care of. Everybody sits off. So that ray of sunlight kind of passes, and the sky is darkening as we move towards midday, and you guys all make your way through the withered barley fields and up the hill. It's not to scale here. It takes about an hour to make this hike.
And Jason, can I just say Gabre as you're going along?
Yes.
Oh, Lantrude, you are the only one. Oh, Lantrude, for you we'll carry on. It's so long since we've seen a miss. Won't you just give us one little kiss?
Whoa!
But Lantrude, she takes it all in fun. She says, "Laughs, you see it can't be done. I would like to, but how can I consent when I'm true to Don Viev's holy convent?"
Oh! I would guess that what's Gabre's charisma?
14.
Okay, I think the villagers in general are pretty charmed by Gabre. I think people are very taken with this wandering, singing elf, and
it's a little risque too, but not enough. Just a little bit. Or soupçon.
And she's not present. She's been escorted away, so so there's nothing. Yeah, it's like a nice little. Great. So that is actually the only note of kind of a festivity, right? It's a pretty dark day, and you move towards this manor house, which is silhouetted on the hillside. The yew trees, as you approach, are withered. There aren't even any leaves on them against the sky.
October, November?
October.
October.
As we walk, Jaspar is going to forage among the barley fields, trying to find any kind of not withered, disgusting barley.
Some barley. You want to?
Yeah, why not? We're in barley fields. I'm a forager. I'm going to forage for some barley.
Hey, no. There's you get like you manage to pull together like a little bouquet.
Okay.
Of unwithered barley. That's manageable.
Okay. Great.
And then I'll just let you guys see that this is the manor as you approach.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
There's going to be a lot of places to die in there.
Yep.
So you'll be coming in from this direction, and it's like it's only 2 stories high, but it's the gardens have sort of turned black and overgrown it. There's a broken fountain in the courtyard here, and it definitely anybody that's even a little spooked in general hesitates as they approach.
Gabre, who was playing his lyre, all of a sudden there's an off note and just silence.
There's a string break.
Yeah.
On the walk up, anyone who's willing to tolerate the elf scholar's presence gets a little muttered lecture on the black the black fever, and hears about that the early sign is that people's veins blacken and their skin gets pale, and let's hope none of that happens. And what do you think about that guy? Does he look okay to you? I'm not so sure.
Dude, I've heard that if you eat this moldy barley, you see God. I'm just saying. I haven't done it myself, but I got
Spiritism for beginners.
Okay, so one more thing before we talk about scheduling, which is just the wrap-up move, which is what you do at the end of every session. So you see here, wrap up. When you reach the end of a session, answer these questions for each of your villagers. Did you fulfill at least one of your traits in a memorable way? Golly, I think everybody kind of, but let's go over this real quick. Allard, you wanted, what was it, lazy and?
Stubborn.
Lazy and stubborn.
I don't know.
Memorable laziness? I mean, very memorable character already, but did you do, yeah, okay, maybe not, that's fine.
Yeah.
Crespin?
I got nothing.
Crespin, absolutely you get
Oh man, I think I sold Crespin.
Oh yeah. Crespin gets an XP. For that, Genon de Sucer, what are your traits?
Forgiving and rude.
What do you
I
think?
can't wait for the rudeness.
Any instances of that?
Well, I have forgiven the sister for believing in false gods.
Totally buy it. You get an XP. Jaspar, what is Jaspar? Jaspar didn't have much chance to shine, really, but what are Jaspar's traits?
Boastful and cruel.
Okay.
I got it in at the wire with the moldy barley.
You were trying to
Really?
think about that to like get somebody to like snack on it and
Dude, yeah.
Just to see people eat the moldy barley, you are so gross.
Nobody's eaten it yet. You don't get an XP for that.
Okay.
Ichtrude, what are your traits?
Ichtrude is hopeful and forgiving.
Oh,
I haven't had anybody to forgive yet.
I definitely hopeful though. You get a point for that because you're committed to this.
She is. And then who then is steadfast hedonist. He's not there yet, but he's going to go for it. Steadfast is a funny one where he hopefully will get a moment where he can help people.
Yeah. So nothing so far. Robinet, what are your traits?
Brave and kind. I'd say taking on this mission a bit, and then also saving Crispin from falling off the stage.
Oh yes, that was very kind.
Yeah, that was
Very
lovely. That was great.
XP for that. And Gabray?
Yeah.
What are Gabray's traits?
Gabray is gregarious and orderly.
And what was the second one?
Orderly.
Orderly. I think just by handing off all the food. Or no, Gabray's the one who received the food, right?
Received the food, right.
Definitely gregarious, no question about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to be clear, you get 1 XP if you acted on any trait, but not per trait, right? So if you acted on any trait, you get an XP. Next question is, did you risk your life to help an ally obtain an item of value? Nope, obviously not. Did you witness the untimely death of a fellow villager? Not yet.
No, because that save kept Crispin from the spinal cord injury that otherwise would have been our first casualty. Although, you know, Jason, I want to argue for laziness because I was at the back of the audience and I reluctantly got drafted into it. So maybe that was
sure,
lazy.
yeah, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. Go for it. Mark it down, and then these last questions apply to the whole group. Did you discover something exciting about the wider world?
Wasn't the whole session that? We made up the history of the world.
There's a lot of exciting things.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Any examples?
There were some wonderful songs.
The songs were great. We found out something about the Black Fever, and that's there. We placed the Legets in conjunction to the town, their academic history, the soothsayers' relationship with the church.
I discovered what is the most important thing in this entire adventure.
Well, that is true.
Great. Everybody gets an XP.
Is that for each character?
Yes. Each character gets an XP. Did you overcome a difficult obstacle? Not yet, I don't think. Did you acquire some memorable booty?
Yes.
You did. So everybody, the whole group benefits from that. So everybody gets an XP.
That's nice.
You were given some memorable booty. All right, and that is that. So now we can talk about scheduling.
Oh, was that 2 or 3 for the whole party based on that?
2, because you did not overcome a difficult obstacle.
Okay.
Oh, and Jason, we're not doing bonds, but it seems to me that the Robinette saved Crespin from an untimely fall, and he would be grateful and kindly disposed to her, and thinks of her as a pal or a friend. And similarly, he got this awesome short sword, recognizing finally what an amazing, helpful person he is, even though probably not, but he thinks this is, like, frankly, the most awesome thing that's ever happened to him. So he would probably feel a bond towards Robinette, and then also the constable whose name, I'm sorry, Rob, I've forgotten.
That is Ictrude, but more importantly, that short sword belonged to Silforian, my mentor.
Right.
Please do not lose it.
Oh my God, if I nick this thing, I'm going to be like... heartbroken.
Yeah, so Kevin, those are great. I love it. So just write down each of their names, and you can have up to 3 bonds with a person. So you have 1 bond with each of them now, and you can mark that bond to help that person by giving them an extra +1 to a roll if you're helping out. Other bonds will occur, no doubt, in the course of the adventure.
Bonds have a spot on the sheet. Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's kind of small though. You might need to find some other way to mark that.
Notes. Okay. I think. Do I get a bond for giving the elven scholar fleas?
Fleas?
Yeah, give him fleas. Back to the audience.
That would be a negative bond.
Yes, a negative bond.
Disgust.
All right, so scheduling.
Yeah, so...
they maybe were in the back of the audience kind of heckling a little bit. Not heckling, but sort of like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe we're here. This is...
That could be.
This guy, Crispin, what a jerk. He's ridiculous. And, yeah. So I'm cool with the bond. Love it. What's the rat catcher's name?
Houvin. Heuvin. And the elf scholar is Allard.
Yeah, Allard. Allard.
Yeah. So Rob, you,
Shit talking.
you can't do Tuesday. Wait, right?
I can. I would be late. You guys, and I would be happy to join late. I wouldn't be too late. I have a meeting, a work meeting from 7:30 to 8:30, and we're trying to keep those very strict on time. So I could do 8:30, but I'm open to other stuff.
I mean, are people cool with Tuesday? That's pretty soon, but
Tuesday is fine for me.
Bob,
Yeah.
Lisa,
8:30.
so we'll say 8:30 on Tuesday.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay, awesome, great. That's good because we'll be able to get into it. This was mainly just setup, but oh my God, what a setup! Oh my God,
the
These
singing,
characters.
the lyrics, the soothsayer clacker.
Right.
The so good, and the rat catcher is sort of. I do see the rat catcher as kind of a low rent Johnny Depp.
I have, we put. Oh, look at the Hamilton. This is beautiful. We put this much work into these guys, and having just run a funnel this week,
Yeah.
people die very.
There will
quickly.
be blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, actually, that's a good question. Are there other, are there a smattering of other townsfolk who have sort of come along with these 8?
No. However, there will be opportunities. If you get down to one villager and then that villager dies, there are opportunities for other villagers to show up.
All right.
So you'll always have somebody to fall back on, and it'll be utterly heartbreaking if literally any of these 8 people die. I will be heartbroken, but that's part of the joy.
This is a good learning experience for us, though, because I think the next time we go anywhere, we will hire a few villagers or hirelings to come along with us. I think that's a dungeon worldy or apocalypse engine thing, right? To have hirelings.
Yeah, well, and it's old school D&D. Like back in the day,
Right.
those followers were your extra hit points that you would bring along, and they would take the hit. Yeah.
Throw them
We
out.
had 5 hit points: Bob, Pete, Fred, John, and Calvin.
Followers.
Every hit point has a name. Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah. That's kind of how.
Okay.
That's sort of a funnel right there. Every hit point has a name.
Yeah, exactly. Every hit point has a name. All right, that was awesome, guys.
Jason, thank you so much for running and setting the stage
Yes,
and
thank you guys.
providing the frame. And it's delightful to see you guys. And oh my God, I was showing up just for the babies, frankly. Such good babies.
Thanks for letting me
I
crash, you
know.
guys. It was
Oh
nice.
my God.
Oh.
Always a pleasure.
Hey, you're
Yes.
playing when you're available. You gotta play.
Wait, me?
Yeah,
Yes,
this,
you.
absolutely.
Oh, see,
And
I
this is
should
an
crash
easy
everything to
game.
get myself
You can
invited.
tell her she's not crashing. She doesn't. I know.
No, my
God,
gosh.
Bring it all.
You guys, get
Aw.
No, come on, you got to.
We got all
I
these
don't
extra
know.
characters.
I
I
don't
know
know.
Bob can totally. I know Bob can juggle with the multiple personality disorder and everything, but
Right.
but some help.
the troubadour is a lot to live up to.
Yeah, Bob would not give up the troubadour,
No.
not for a
No.
second.
Attached now to that one.
You're not gonna pry that from his.
The Robinette, the happy drunk fairy pilot, that's a cool place to
I
be.
feel like Robinette and Gabrielle already have a bond with each other, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Here we
okay.
are.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Good.
All right, excellent.
All right,
Okay.
we'll
So-
see you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Girls, guys, great to see everybody.
Touch about
Wow.
See you, Dean. Bye, Rob. See you, Bob.
Bye.